Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving into a question that a lot of you have been asking about, and that's why Meta, you know, Facebook, Instagram, why they seem to totally miss the boat when TikTok came along.
Yeah.
And so to try to understand this a little better, we're going to be looking at the SocialWick Podcast's analysis of this. And right off the bat, they pointed out something super interesting, and it's that it turns out that Meta's own definition of what social means might have been their biggest weakness.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And one of the things that SocialWick really kind of picks out as part of this is that
Yeah.
Meta didn't even really see TikTok as a player in the social media world
Hmm.
because they were so focused on TikTok being about entertainment
Right.
and not about social interaction like the kind they were used to.
Which is interesting because, I mean, TikTok has tons of users, tons of engagement. There's all these collaborative features. I mean,
Yeah.
how could they just miss that?
Well, I think, Meta was really focused on things like Messenger and WhatsApp, which were really all about one-to-one communication or small group communication.
Right.
You're talking to your friends or your family.
Right.
And that kind of shaped their idea of what social meant online. But TikTok, they kind of came in and did something totally different.
Okay.
They made a whole new kind of online world
Mhm.
where people connect, not just because they know each other,
Right.
because they're into the same things.
Yeah.
Like they see a trend, they like a challenge, or they remix each other's videos.
Yeah.
It's less about chatting and more about just doing stuff together online.
Right.
And-
And SocialWick mentioned that part of this shift is because of Gen Z.
Yeah.
They really seem to love that short,
Right.
engaging kind of content that TikTok does so well.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think back to what Meta's platforms were like a few years ago, Instagram and Facebook, they felt a lot more static. It was less about everyone creating together.
Right.
And even though Instagram did come out with Reels and Facebook tried to copy some of TikTok's stuff, it felt like they were just reacting, not really leading the way.
Right. Kind of playing catch up instead of innovating.
Exactly, yeah.
And of course, we can't forget about the TikTok algorithm and the For You page. And, it's gotten so much attention. And SocialWick really made it clear just how powerful and addictive that personalized feed is.
Yeah.
It really is like magic sometimes.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
It's so different from how Meta does things.
Mm-hmm.
They were all about connecting you with people you already know.
Right. Friends and family.
Yeah, exactly. And TikTok is like, nope, I'm going to show you stuff you like based on what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who made it.
Right.
Like, it's almost like they figured out how to know what you want to see before you even do.
So is that what Meta missed? By focusing on the friends and family model, did they miss out on being able to adapt to what TikTok was doing?
That's a great question, and it's one of the big things that SocialWick brings up.
Yeah.
While Meta was busy connecting us with people we already knew, TikTok was tapping into this whole idea of shared interests.
Right.
And by the time Meta realized what was happening, millions of people were already hooked on that constant stream of new, fun, personalized content from TikTok.
Yeah,
It really shows how fast things can change online.
it really does. It's like a wake-up call for anyone who thinks they know what users want.
hmm
So what else did SocialWick have to say about this whole shift in social media?
Well, one of the things that they really dove into was this idea that
Yeah.
TikTok is tapping into something deeper than just wanting to connect with people.
Okay.
It's about our need to be creative.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
And when you think about it, all the trends and the dances and challenges and duets,
yeah.
it's all about participating and adding your own spin on things. Right. And making it your own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
TikTok gives you the tools and the platform,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the users who are really the creative force. It's this constantly evolving ecosystem of collaboration.
Right. And that seems to be a big part of why it's so successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not just about watching. It's about
Right.
being a part of it, shaping the narrative. Almost like TikTok has made it so anyone can be a creator.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a shift away from that old way of doing things where just a few people make stuff and everyone else just watches.
Right.
TikTok has broken down those barriers.
Yeah.
Anyone can jump in and create.
So it's not just about watching funny videos then. It's about feeling like you're part of something bigger,
Yeah,
contributing to some kind of shared culture.
exactly. And SocialWick pointed out that this is part of a bigger trend.
Yeah.
this rise of what they call participatory culture.
Participatory culture.
Yeah, people want agency. They want to be able to influence and shape the world around them.
Even if it's just through a 15-second video.
Exactly. And TikTok gives them the perfect way to do that.
Right.
The interface is easy to use. The videos are short.
Right.
And the algorithm actually rewards you for being creative and original.
Oh, no. Right. So while Meta was focused on those existing social circles, TikTok was looking at shared interests.
Yeah.
Bringing people together who maybe didn't even know each other.
Exactly. Connecting people across the world.
Right.
Based on what they're into.
And it's almost like they made it into a game. You get those likes and comments and shares and duets, and it keeps you coming back for more.
It's those little dopamine hits that keep people engaged.
Right.
They really understand how to get people participating and make them feel valued.
So if we take a step back and look at the big picture, what does this all mean for social media in the future? I mean, is this the beginning of the end for Facebook and Instagram?
It's hard to say for sure. But there's no doubt that TikTok has really shaken things up. It's forced everyone to rethink what social interaction online really means.
Yeah.
It's not just about keeping up with friends and family anymore.
Right. And SocialWick even pointed out that this shift goes beyond just entertainment, too. They talked about how people are using TikTok for education, for activism, even for business.
It's become this powerful tool for communicating and building communities.
Right.
Sharing ideas and information.
Yeah. It really seems like the possibilities are endless.
They really are. And I think the big takeaway here is adaptivity. You know, it's not enough to just copy features or chase trends.
Right.
To stay relevant, platforms need to really understand what's driving this change.
Yeah.
And find ways to genuinely align with it.
So where do we go from here? I mean, how is this participatory culture going to keep evolving? Are we going to see new platforms and technologies come out that really capitalize on this?
That's what makes this such an exciting time to be studying social media.
Yeah.
You know, it's constantly changing. And we're only just starting to see the impact of TikTok.
Right.
And, you know, one of the things that SocialWick said that I thought was really interesting was that it's not just about the platforms themselves.
Okay.
It's about us.
Us.
Yeah. We're the ones who are shaping the future of social interaction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know, every comment, every share, every video we create, it all adds up to how these platforms evolve.
So it's not about which app is better.
Right.
It's about how we use them.
Exactly.
The choices that we make.
Yeah. We're collectively deciding what matters, what resonates, what grabs our attention.
It's like we're all part of this giant experiment, figuring out what social really means.
I love that. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to be aware of our own behavior online. Why are we drawn to certain platforms? You know, is it the need to connect or the desire for validation?
Great.
The joy of creating or even the fear of missing out?
Those are some great questions. I know I've definitely gotten caught in that FOMO spiral, you know, where you just keep scrolling and scrolling. But I also really appreciate the creativity on TikTok, how people are pushing the boundaries and expressing themselves.
And that's what makes this whole evolution so fascinating.
Yeah.
There's no one right answer. You know, no single definition of what social should be. It's this fluid, dynamic space that we're all shaping with our choices.
So what's the most important thing for our listeners to keep in mind as they navigate this new world?
I think it comes down to awareness and intention. You know, don't just passively consume.
Right.
Actively participate. Ask yourself, what kind of online world do you want to be a part of?
Yeah.
What values do you want to promote?
Because ultimately, we have the power to shape these platforms.
We do. We can make them more inclusive, more creative, more meaningful.
Exactly. And by understanding how these platforms are changing and why, we become more conscious and empowered users.
So whether you're a TikTok fanatic, a Facebook diehard, or just starting to explore social media, remember this. You are a part of this story.
You are.
Your choices matter.
They do.
Your voice matters.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to create the next big thing.
Yeah.
The platform that redefines social for the next generation.
That's what's so exciting about all of this.
Now that's an inspiring thought. And that wraps up our deep dive into the rise of TikTok, the evolution of social interaction, and the power we have as users. A huge thank you to the SocialWick Podcast for their insightful analysis.
It was a pleasure being here today.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shaping the future of social connection.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. In SocialWick, they argue that TikTok is tapping into something way more profound. Okay.
Than just wanting to connect.
Yeah.
It's about our need to express ourselves creatively.
That makes a lot of sense when you think about it. All the viral trends, the dances, the challenges, the duets.
Right.
It really is all about getting involved and putting your own spin on things.
Precisely. TikTok provides the tools and the platform, but
Right.
the users are the ones driving all the creativity and innovation.
Mm-hmm.
It's this constantly evolving ecosystem.
Yeah.
And that's a key part of their success.
Yeah. It's such a contrast to just passively watching stuff.
Right.
It's about actively shaping the narrative, being part of a larger conversation. It's almost like TikTok has democratized content creation.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a real shift away from that old broadcast model where only a select few got to create and everyone else just consumed.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok has blurred those lines and made it so much easier for anyone to become a creator.
So it's not just about watching funny videos. It's about feeling like you're part of something bigger, contributing to a shared culture.
That's a key part of it, yeah. And it reflects this bigger trend we're seeing everywhere online, what they call participatory culture.
Okay.
People want agency. They
Yeah.
want to be able to shape things, even if it's just through a 15-second video.
And TikTok is like the perfect avenue for that.
Yeah.
Easy to use bite-sized content, an algorithm that rewards creativity and originality.
Exactly. And, while Meta was focusing on connecting us with people we already knew, TikTok tapped into that power of shared interests and experiences,
Right.
effortlessly connecting strangers across the globe.
It's like they gamified the whole experience, made it fun and rewarding to create and share. You get those likes, comments, shares, duets, all those little dopamine hits that keep you coming back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They really seem to understand how to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
They know how to subtly encourage participation, make users feel valued.
So if we zoom out a bit, what does this all mean for the future of social media? Is this the beginning of the end for platforms like Facebook and Instagram?
It's tough to say for sure.
Okay.
But TikTok has definitely shaken things up.
Yeah.
They have forced everyone to rethink what social interaction online even looks like. It's not just about connecting with friends and family anymore.
Right. And SocialWick also pointed out that this goes beyond just entertainment, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They highlighted how TikTok is being used for educational purposes, for activism, even for business.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's become a powerful tool for communication, building communities, and sharing ideas.
Yeah. It seems like the possibilities are endless.
They really are.
So where do we go from here? How will this participatory culture continue to evolve? I mean, will new platforms and technologies emerge to capitalize on this shift?
That's what makes it such a fascinating time to be studying social media. It's constantly evolving. And TikTok's impact is only just beginning to be felt.
Right.
SocialWick left us with a really thought-provoking point. It's not just about the platforms themselves. It's about...
Okay, I'm hooked. What was that thought-provoking point?
It's about us. We're the ones shaping the future of social interaction.
So it's not about like which app is better or anything like that. It's more about how we're actually using these platforms.
Exactly. Every comment, every share, even every video we make, all of that is shaping how these platforms are going to evolve.
So basically, we're all deciding what matters, what's going to resonate, what grabs our attention.
Yeah, it's like we're all part of this giant experiment.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what social even means anymore.
That's a great way to put it. And that's why it's so important to be mindful of, how we're behaving online.
Exactly.
Why are we drawn to certain platforms? Is it the need to connect?
Right.
Is it wanting to feel validated? Is it the joy of creating something new?
Yeah. Or even that fear of missing out.
It's funny you mention that because I definitely know I've gotten caught in that FOMO spiral.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just keep scrolling and scrolling.
Totally.
But at the same time, I also genuinely appreciate the creativity I see on TikTok. You know how people are pushing the boundaries and just expressing themselves.
And that's what makes it also interesting, There isn't one right answer.
Right.
There's no single definition of what being social should look like. It's this fluid, constantly changing space, and we're all shaping it together.
So as our listeners are navigating this new world, what's the key takeaway for them?
I think it really comes down to awareness and intention.
Okay.
Don't just passively consume, be an active participant.
Right.
Ask yourself what kind of online world you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
What values do you want to promote?
Because ultimately, we do have the power to change these platforms.
Oh,
We can make them more inclusive, more creative, more meaningful.
Exactly. And the more we understand how these platforms are changing and why,
Right.
the better equipped we are to use them in a conscious and empowered way.
So whether you're totally obsessed with TikTok or you're a Facebook loyalist, or you're just starting to figure out social media, remember this. You are a part of this story.
You are.
Your choices matter.
Absolutely.
And your voice matters.
They really do.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to create the next big thing.
Yeah.
That totally redefines what it means to be social for a whole new generation.
That's what's so exciting about all of this.
That's such an inspiring thought. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the rise of TikTok, the evolution of social interaction, and the power we have as users. A huge thank you to the SocialWick Podcast for their incredible insights.
It was great being here.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shaping the future of social connection.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious.
Bye.
Bye.